The future of the running back position for the Minnesota Vikings is up in the air this offseason. You do have star Dalvin Cook, who is going to be 28 years young, but he's headed into an inflection point in his contract where he's due a $10.4 million base salary. Yes, $2 million of it is fully guaranteed now that he's going to be on the rooster on the first day of the new league year due to his shoulder surgery. But the Vikings can save some cap space by moving on, and TBD what's going to happen going forward. And also, Alexander Madison, who has been a nice backup as well, spot starter behind Dalvin, is due to be a free agent and probably going to get some decent money out there on the market. So it's a spot where if the Vikings retain Dalvin, they're probably not bringing back Madison. If they keep Madison, they're probably not bringing back Dalvin. So there is going to be some change in that running back room. And you do have Kenny Nwangu heading into year 3. He's already one of the best kick returners in the game. Probably should deserve a little bit more time a day as a running back, and as well as Ty Chandler. Let's go, baby. Last year's 5th-round pick out of North Carolina by way of Tennessee. Scat back du jour. Preseason superstar, and also Kevin O'Connell spoke very glowingly about him at the NFL Combine. There's a long way of saying the Vikings are reportedly doing their due diligence on some NFL draft running backs in this upcoming class. Now, running back in the modern terms has certainly changed. Like before, back in the day, looking at OJ, looking at Eric Dickerson, Walter Payton, Tony Dorsett, Adrian Peterson, you built your team around the running back. You ran to throw the ball, but in today's NFL, you throw to run, and you can get a decent production from a running back by committee. Looking at Kansas City, looking at guys like Isaiah Pacheco coming in as a 7th-round pick out of Rutgers as a rookie, and that's sort of where we're at, right? So you don't really spend on running backs. You especially don't break the bank and give them a second contract. You don't necessarily need to draft them high. I mean, just pick up a day 3 guy or even a UDFA, plug and play him, and he'll be able to contribute right away. So that's the line of thinking right now. But the Vikings, even though they don't have a ton of draft picks, take a look at some running backs. Notably, Tulane running back Tyjae Spears is from Ryan Fowler of the Draft Network, has formally met with the Commies, the Bills, the Colts, the Vikings, and the Ravens. Of course, Tyjae Spears was the Senior Bowl superstar. He's got a little bit of shake and bake. I absolutely love him. Was great in the Cotton Bowl against my USC, unfortunately. Although I'm pretty convinced that I could have ran for 100 yards against that USC defense this year, but I digress there. And also, local angle, Mo Ibrahim of the Gophers, Sky Uma, Vikes insider. The Minnesota Vikings have met with Gophers running back Mo Ibrahim at the NFL Combine, and I do like Mo, but he's going to be 25 in September. He has almost 900 touches throughout his collegiate career, and that's a ton. That is a lot. So that's a lot of mileage coming in to the National Football League. Also, he's a year removed from Achilles surgery. And the Vikings are sitting at 23. I would be shocked if there's more than one running back taken in the first round. I think Bijan Robinson is really it. But the Vikings, I don't think it's going to happen. I think that the NFL league executives value running backs a little bit more than the draft community. So I think that Bijan, he has the potential to be a generational talent. I think that he will go somewhere in the teens. And the Vikings, like we mentioned, sort of short on draft picks. So they have the first, they don't have a second, and they're currently without a 6th and a 7th with that projected 5th-round compensatory pick. So, I mean, if the Vikings use one of those on running backs, that's one less position that they can address, whether it's cornerback, whether it's interior offensive line, D-line, linebacker, etc. So absent a trade down and acquiring more picks, I mean, using one on a running back, we'll see. But, I mean, this running back class is really interesting where you do have your top-end guy with Bijan Robinson, but you have a lot of guys who I think are going to be contributors the rookie season. Just looking at this from a fantasy angle, you got Jahmyr Gibbs, who, diet Alvin Kamara, which is ironic since Kamara started his career at Alabama before transferring to Tennessee. And then you got Rashawn Johnson, the teammate of Bijan at Texas at a solid backfield. Devin Achane, who his goal is to set the combine record in the 40. I think that he does have a shot. Tank Bigsby's son, Zach Evans, I like a lot. Zach Charbonnet, absolute power coming in from the UCLA Bruins. Eric Gray got that speed. Dwayne McBride, rushing champ. Kendry Miller, TCU, is a big part of that offense for the Horned Frogs. And, of course, Tyjae Spears, shake and bake. Mo Ibrahim, absolutely rock solid. Doesn't have that breakaway speed, but very solid in grinding up some yardage for the Gophers for a number of seasons. So, I mean, there are a decent number of running backs, and TBD what happens with the future of Dalvin, what happens with the future of Madison. And like we did say, the Vikings do have some intriguing in-house options with Kenny as well as Ty Chandler. So I guess we'll see what happens. Like, I mean, if Bijan gets to 23, I think the Vikings would have a decision, because even though the Vikings offense is a pass-first scheme, I mean, Bijan Robinson is dynamic in space. He led the nation in broken tackles, and I think that he would be a lot of fun. Not just as a runner, but also as a receiver. Or I think that if you want to go true running back by committee, getting a guy like Charbonnet or a guy like Tajay Spears and putting them with King Kene, putting them with Ty Chandler, would be a lot of fun. I think that if you want to follow the Kansas City model where they're sharing the load, you look at what Jerick McKinnon did, you look at what Isaiah Pacheco did, and just sort of go from there. But we shall see. Anyways, your thoughts are our thoughts. Minnesota Vikings reportedly are doing their due diligence on some of the draft-eligible running backs. Let us know your thoughts are our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.